first position in the minor premiership for the first time in their rich club history. And the Breakers, well, they're playing for pride in that, man. Well, his stock is sure to keep on rising as they go on. We're not far away now. The Breakers and the Hawks do battle.
Taco falls. Strippy subs in. I'm ready. Menenga rumbles inside and lashes it home.
Finds Lopez, who just turns around on the spot and says, "Cash that!" Lopez got it away in time.
Trey Kell likes the look. Oh, he loves the look. Trey Kell rolling. He's feeling it. Now rolling, fed by Trey Kell.
Harvey from deep again.
New Zealand and Illawarra. I welcome in my co-commentator, NBL legend, Illawarra legend, the last man to hang a banner in the venue, Damon Lowry. Welcome in as we have a look at the Mitsubishi Motors standings. A tale of two cities right now, but your Hawkies, the chance to lock up top spot.
They do. They have a chance to not win the minor premiership. I don't like to talk like that, Felix, because you don't get nothing for that. They have a chance to lock up home court advantage throughout the championship series. That's what they want. They got to come out and not be complacent and get off to a great start defensively.
Well, Justin Tatum, he finished last year in a flurry and he has not been let down this year. The Hawks are 2-0 versus the Breakers this year, looking to sweep. But more importantly, across the entire season, this man has barely put a foot wrong.
Hit the ground running from last season. Just utilized everything that he learned from last year. His guys, they're playing with great camaraderie. He's just fine-tuned a few little things, got some bits and pieces, ironed out a few kinks, if you will, and now they're rolling.
Well, they're going to have to do it tonight without Trey Kell. Is he going to be All-NBL first team? Is he going to be All-NBL second? Well, it doesn't matter right now because all they're focused on is tonight. But Trey Kell taking no part in this contest.
Yeah, Trey Kell sitting this one out. Hip complaint, groin issues, needs to just rest up. They're going to have the 10-day fever break as well as the bye week. So, got to get him 100%. In the meantime, Tyler Harvey just goes to the point.
Well, the way that Illawarra play, they're one of the deepest teams in the league. So, of course, if anyone can override and out, it's the Illawarra Hawks. But Tyler Harvey's been a superstar all year, and it's his selflessness this year. In the past, maybe a bit hungry, a bit shot happy, a bit trigger happy. This year, taking the right shots at the right time.
It's his efficiency for mine. He's getting 18 points a game, and he's doing it at a very high clip. He's shooting 39% from deep water from way out there. He's still as clutch as he's ever been. He's also paying more attention on the defensive end. He's having a great season. And congratulations, Tyler. You are in Damon Lowry's first team All-NBL.
Well, I'll tell you what, with some of the names you left out of that first team, including Kendrick Davis, that is quite the compliment from you. But if Tyler Harvey, Trey Kell, there's showtime. Maybe we throw Froling into that one as well. Wani Swakalo-Bullock, potentially the defensive player of the year. Is he the glue guy that keeps this team together?
Wani is that guy who can neutralize, make anybody's best perimeter player really struggle and really work for their points. Wani's an unsung hero in this group. The group values Wani. And Wani, congratulations. You are in my all-imaginary, all-defensive first team.
There's plenty going on in that imaginary mind of yours, and we are not going that deep. But Pettery Competent, you had one of the best comments of the year when you said this man, I certainly did, has had to coach 3 different teams throughout the year.
He had to coach without Parker, with Parker. He had to coach without Freddie. He had to coach Taco without Parker. A whole bunch of different combinations. But this finished dude right here has been a breath of fresh air to the league. I love his Euro flavor. I love the fact that he was a former guard himself who played at the highest level. So good on Pettery Competent, and let's see if they can come out and finish off with a bang.
Matt Mooney has been one of the consistent stars for New Zealand throughout the year. No PJC tonight, continuing with the rib injury, and of course he'll take no further part in the season. But when he's out, this man steps up.
Matt Mooney steps up. He's a combo guard. I didn't know that until Parker Jackson went out. But he has distributed the ball well. He's getting his teammates involved. And when it's time to score the ball, he can score the ball. He had 33 points the last time these two teams met. So I'm expecting similar things out of Matt Mooney.
Career numbers the last time these two teams met, as David said, 33 points for Matt Mooney. He's going to need all 33 of them tonight if they want to compete with the top of the table there. But Taco Fall, one of the most interesting acquisitions of the year. When he came in, the Breakers were right up top. As he leaves, he's back for another year, but they're right down the bottom.
Taco hasn't experienced a whole lot of success as far as wins go. So this season's almost been like a preseason for him, getting acclimated to the league, getting to know his teammates. And he's still, like, we all know what he's like around the basket. I would like to see him just evolve a little bit more on the defensive end.
Well, let's head courtside to NBL legend and New Zealand legend, Tom Abercrombie. Tom, Spark Arena, this is a different Breakers team when they enter that venue.
certainly is, guys. It's been a happy hunting ground for the Breakers this year. The rest of the season hasn't been. So one last time, they've pride on the line. They look to take on the red-hot Illawarra Hawks. I'm looking forward to this one. They're in #1 spot at the moment, looking to create a little bit of history tonight. It's going to be great.
Well, Tom, we're going to catch up with you all throughout the game. Thank you very much. We're not far away from tip-off right now as we look at the starting five for the Breakers. Mojave King, Matthew Mooney, Karim Lopez. Boy, is he going to have a future. Jonah Bolden, and of course the big fella, 7'6", Taco Fall. Now for the Illawarra Hawks, 16 games in a row without a change to their starting lineup. That comes tumbling down with Trey Cal out of this with a groin injury. Tyler Harvey, H.J. Lee, Wani Swakalo Bullock, Sam Froling, and Mason Peatling rounded out. Damon, there are a few people with as much personal bias as you at the moment.
No, I'm a neutral commentator tonight, but the Hawks should get this one. But anything can happen.
Almost a disaster there at the tip-off for the Breakers, but they regain possession. King from the corner. Can't get it to fall. Mason Peatling will clean it up.
Mason Peatling dodged the bullet, got lost. Left Mo King wide open for three. Mo couldn't make him pay.
Froling will get the duties against Taco Fall tonight. Tyler Harvey drops Mooney, stops on a dime, turns a shot into a pass, finds Froling for the and one.
Like we've been saying earlier, there's a time that Tyler lets that shot fly. But he saw Matt Mooney goes down. It's effectively 2-on-1. He's got a wide open Sam Froling. Way to get a ball up.
Tell you what, Damon, if Sam Froling had turned his head there, that would have gone down as one of the worst shots of all time to the naked eye. Froling completes the and one.
And that's the area of Sam Froling's game that he's got to work on. In the offseason, that free throw percentage is only 61, but it's 100 at the moment.
Well, the Sydney Kings are sniffing around as well. He's a free agent at the end of this year. The Hawks will certainly be looking to hold on to that signature, but the Sydney Kings and all the money they have will be searching for him as well. Mooney finds Fall in the middle, gets a little hook and gets it to Fall.
Yeah, Taco's going to shoot a high percentage if he gets that kind of shot all day. Tyler Harvey gave up dribble penetration, which made it a little bit easier for Taco.
Now, the Illawarra Hawks have struggled this season against competition down the bottom of the ladder. They've been beaten as they get that one tipped away by many up the top. As Mooney pulls up in transition, gets it knocked loose. And the Breakers recover. But they have struggled against lower-end teams, which unfortunately for the Breakers is them at the moment. Fall, guarded by Froling. Back to the middle, 2 for 2.
Just like when I used to shoot over my sister when I would roll up the socks,
How
make a basketball.
How tall's your sister?
I'm just saying, it's relative. Height is relative.
Swakalo Bullock pulls the quick trigger, gets it to Fall. Potentially the defensive player of the year. It'll come down to him. He gets dropped on that occasion. It'll come down to him and Shea Illian Mooney. The errant three round down by Sam Froling. Froling Euros around the taller Fall who just snipes it away. Lopez, the next star, can't convert.
Those are all open shots. Good ball movement. Jonah making the extra pass, and Wani gets in transition. Taco says, we ain't having that foolishness. We ain't having it.
And Taco Fall cleans it up, and he's going to assume the point guard duties.
Keep going, keep going. Cross him up.
Mooney deep into the paint. Gets the hook right up there to Taco Fall, and too little, too late if you're trying to reach him at the rim.
That was one hell of a 30-second sequence by Taco Fall. 2 block shots on the one possession. Initiated the offense. Finishes with the dunk.
He's certainly got a little more to that bag than you'd think. And we've seen sparks of it throughout the year. Froling on the bounce against Fall. Throws it up, the errant shot.
Now this highlight, Taco's bending over. Taco's rocking the mismatched shoes. Making a bit of a fashion statement. As you look at the Amy replay.
It's probably hard enough to find any in a size 20, let alone 2 separate pairs, don't it?
Spike with number 1. And then he finishes with the dunk here.
And the exciting thing for New Zealand is they've got another year with Taco Fall. So the more you learn to play with him as Tyler Harvey gets deep into the paint, Taco Fall can do little against that one from Sam Froling with the left.
Sam's still going to challenge him on the rim. He's going to back himself. But when Sam develops that mid-range jump shot, when he plays against a guy like Taco, who doesn't want to come out on the perimeter, he'll be able just to shoot uncontested mid-range J's all day long.
Baseline, go. Hold on the waist.
The Breakers, obviously, Illawarra with a lot more to play for towards the back end of this season, but the Breakers, their season is, for all intents and purposes, over when it comes to finals. As they head into next year with the greatest inbounds play available to man. Can't convert it that time, a little bit too far out, but having a season, half a season under the belt with Taco is going to really pay some dividends into next year.
It helps, but he's still some flaws in his defensive game as Tyler hits a nice little step back, a deep two. Still some flaws in Taco's defensive game that he's going to have to get better at because he's still going to be a liability in certain situations.
Great defense from Swakalo Bullock on Mooney. Evades him, out to Bolden. A majority of his shots this year have come from the outside. Harvey cleans it up. Peatman takes it hard to the rim, and Jonah Bolden meets him right there.
Bad transition D by the Breakers. Just jogging back. Taco just put his hand up for a sub. 4 minutes in. And something as simple as that, you might say, okay, can he play more than 4 minutes in a row? He's gonna have to work on his fitness because it's not good enough if you can only play 4 minutes to get exhausted. You should be able to block shots, get dunks, run the floor for longer than that. So hopefully he works on his conditioning in the offseason.
Quite an extensive history with injuries as well for Taco Fall. We spoke to him pre-game around the round 11 mark, and he mentioned that it's the first time in a long time in his career he's been able to put games together.
He actually
and consistent practices. He did. He did.
Thought you guys had beef.
No. Certainly no beef with being the big man. I know to pick a fair fight. Lopez back to Mooney. Nice little drop pass. Manenga finishes.
Sam Manenga, aggressive Sam is a great Sam, but a passive Sam Manenga, that's the one that we ain't a big fan of. Sam's already had at least 11 games this season with single-figure points, and a guy of his talent can't have that.
From can't convert it to the middle, but Hayes Shalee will chase it down and dip it back in. 6-point lead to the Hawks, almost at the halfway mark of the first quarter. Lopez. Baseline, nice pass out of trouble. King can't convert from the corner.
That was a good pass, too, showing his vision and his willingness.
One of the silver linings towards the back end of the lead is H.J. the sniper, can't get that one to fall. The silver lining on the season for the New Zealand Breakers has been Karim Lopez and his development towards the back end of this year and just how potent he's going to be coming into next year, Damon Lowry.
Yeah, Karim Lopez, todavía solo 17 años. I said he's still only 17 years old.
I will be consulting Google to make sure that's what you said.
They all know what I said. Yeah, no, Kareem has just been a breath of fresh air as well, and another year of development under his belt, and the league is better for it.
Petri Koppinen, you mentioned on the intro, he's not that far retired. And for those who don't know the background of the playing career of Petri Koppinen, this is a incredibly high-level hooper.
He was no run-of-the-mill guard. I fell down the Petri Koppinen rabbit hole on YouTube, and I was in there for quite a while. This dude had major game, could shoot the ball, could distribute the ball up until he had an accident too, like a car accident that kind of derailed him a little bit, but he led a World Cup in assists. This guy was special.
Illawarra Hawks looking to lock in top spot for the first time in their club's history with a win tonight. Blanchfield, he's found fire the last couple of weeks. He's going to earn it from the free throw line this time.
I love this lineup. I love the way they play the inside out. They run both shooters off the turnout screens and then go into a straight two-man game. And if you get too hung up on those guys shooting, then Davo Hickey at the point can just penetrate down the middle. And Karim Lopez has already found himself in some early foul trouble, just picked up his second. And he's gonna have to sit.
The Illawarra Hawks have scored 15 points. They've got 10 different players that have scored 15 or more at least once, which is the most in the league. It just shows the depth that they go to. When we talk about all NBL teams, It's tough. Yeah, there's a real world where the best team in the league has no players in the All-NBL first team.
It depends on what you value. It depends on what you covet, Felix. If you covet winning, like I do, you can definitely have a guy in the first and second All-NBL teams.
Mitch McCarron into the game for the Breakers. Bit of full court pressure from the Hawks, who have started to build a little bit of buffer in the early going here. Mooney, guarded by Blanchfield. McCarron can't find anything on the inside. Darling will take it to the rim. Big body against Lockie Olbrich. Can't get it to fall. But Lockie Olbrich is a tough customer to move out of the way, and Max Darling using all of his strength right there.
Hey, Tom, give us some feedback, man. What's the mood like down there? You're down 9 with 6 minutes already played. The Breakers don't seem to be as sharp as we'd have thought they'd have been to start this game.
Yeah, you're right, Damien. They don't seem to quite have that same spark they had last week against Cairns. Always a dangerous one, these ones at the end of the season with nothing really to play for. So a little lacking in energy at the moment. I've been impressed with how the Hawks have come out, because it's not an easy one for them either to come and play at a team like this with nothing to lose. They seem to be focused on their task at hand. Obviously, the prize of the #1 seed on the line is motivating them. I've been impressed with their start so far.
Wow, if you're going to play for pride, if that's all you got left and you don't really dish it up, that's saying you ain't got a lot of pride, right?
Olbrich finds Hickey, who turns down the 3. Hard left-hand drive. Finds Blanchfield, the veteran, who just flips it up.
That's one of Davo's patented moves. When he got that ball in his left hand, he got a beautiful hesitation. And Tom Blanchfield knows his teammates. These guys play together all the time, the bench squad. And he just moved without the ball, got himself a layup.
Every team that's going to make a finals run, you always hear about the X factor. And who's that going to be? For the Tasmania Jack Jumpers last year, as good as Jack McVeigh and others played, Sean McDonald coming off the bench, even starting a couple of games throughout that, was their X factor. You can really see a world where Todd Blanchfield hitting a couple of big threes throughout a few of these series could be that guy for the Illawarra Hawks. Hickey out in transition. Finds the danger man in Harvey on the perimeter. Usually transactional when left that open.
Hawks getting out and running after a stop. Tyler sprint straight to the corner. You'll take that shot all day, every day.
Just a little bit disruptive in the backcourt.
And you talk about X factors, like Todd Blanchfield, he's only maybe playing 10 minutes a game. And one thing about Toddy, as we all know, he has a specific set of skills. It's catch and shoot. So anytime they might have some scoring droughts, Justin Taylor can easily go to Toddy for a bit of a spark. He's got that many options as shooting guards.
The Illawarra Hawks also leading the league in interior points, so there's such a threat from the inside as Menenga goes around and one. He'll get the chance to just eat into this lead as the Breakers just try to stem the bleeding a touch. But the interior threat that is the Illawarra Hawks allows Blanchfield, when he comes into the game, just get a little bit more open than he has in the past. Nice little move for Menenga, who's found a bit of a purple patch after going through a rough period at the back end of the year.
This is why I hear a lot of coaches say we're playing against ourselves and not so much the opposition. The Illawarra Hawks feel like this game is probably already theirs, but then you might just let some bad habits creep in. This is what you always got to make sure you stay, as a coach, you got to make sure these guys don't get laxed.
Dan Greeter with some early minutes.
And with Dan Greeter's involved, there will be no relaxing.
Dan Greeter, a guy that's just has struggled with injuries, and we speak of injuries. Parker Jackson Cartwright now is not the time to pick the nose, my friend. Luckily, we've avoided disaster right there, but an MVP level guy. Matt Walsh during the week has spoken about they've offered him one of the largest contracts that they've ever offered in New Zealand, and they've had some superstars play in that country. As Hickey just fades around, finds Harvey on the outside. How important is that signature going into next year? Either for the Breakers or potentially, as that one rattles out for Hickey, for another team in the NBL.
Man, it almost wouldn't look right having Parker in another uniform, even though he's only been here for the 2 seasons.
Nice little back pass from Hickey. Olbrich can't complete it.
But, you know, Parker can obviously command big dollars overseas. And it's just going to be, you know, he's got options. So we'll see what he does, but I hope he stays here.
Harvey, guarded by McCarron, gets him on the hip, flips it up, and far too easy.
Tyler don't miss those floaters. He can shoot one of the highest percentages of anybody in the league.
All the way back to his college days. You just see a little hit off the ball.
21, let him move, let him move. The focus is there, Devo.
As Hickey goes down, and I'm sure the refs will have an extra look.
Pushing foul, side ball.
Just to see what exactly happened here. Hickey's gone down off the ball. As we look at the aiming replay.
You know, too much, yeah, two hands up. Yeah.
Whiplash.
And just a bit of whiplash. Nothing untoward there from Darling.
Hopefully Daniel Greeter was yelling out back pick.
Communication is key. Bairstow guarded by Greeter. Finds his way into the paint. McCarron will have a go with a little left hand. He gets one back on Tyler Harvey.
The scouting report says you want Mitch McCann to shoot that three ball. Tyler gave up the easy penetration. Mitch did a good job of not settling. They need to get the scoreboard ticking over.
Blanchfield, that's his go-to. He's going to find his way to the free throw line for the second time for a set of three.
It's a hit. Three shots.
Line up. Three shots, fellas. Here we go.
Three shots at the free throw line, something you would know a little bit about, Damon Lowry. It was unfortunate we weren't able to get a mention of that in last game, but we found a pretty easy segue now.
We got plenty of time to bring that kind of stuff up. We'll wait to the finals. Yeah, but that's just undisciplined defense by Max Darling. Cannot foul the three-point shooter under any circumstance. And finishing quarters is big, too. You Justin Taylor right now, you're looking at this, you're looking at the 13. You're not looking so much at your score. But if you can hold a team, any team in the league, under 20 points, under 16 points in a 10-minute quarter, that sets yourself up.
The Breakers, of course, without, as we saw earlier, Parker Jackson-Cartwright, but maybe negated a touch as the Illawarra Hawks play without Trey Cal as well, who's sitting this one out with just a groin complaint. Bairstow works off the on-ball, can't find anything. Darling will get Blanchfield out of his feet. Hard drive left, uses all of his body and rolls it in.
Tyler Harvey got to do a better job. There's two closeouts on non-really shooters. He's giving up easy penetration. So those are little things. You got to be able to read the scout and be solid in your one-on-one defense.
And the Breakers just playing a little loose. A bit of showtime from Mitch McCarron. Nutmegs himself and gets it back to Bairstow for the lay-in.
That's when Mitch McCarron is at his best. In transition, wheeling and dealing.
16 seconds left on the game clock. Hawks look to get the ball back to Harvey. 7-point lead to the Hawks. Will it remain that way going into the second quarter? Yet another three-point shooting foul.
To push. Got three shots.
And Petteri Koppinen will not be happy.
Max Darling, for the second time, he picks up his second foul, and both fouls are a result of fouling three-point shooters. And you might as well chalk these three up to Tyler.
Tyler Harvey, we once went into a college game where the other team's plan was just to foul Tyler Harvey and to rough him up. In that game, he broke the record for free throws. I think he went 22 or 22 in the game. So sending Tyler Harvey to the free throw line is probably not the method that you want to take in this game. And Max Darling's going to have to stay on his feet. 10-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks. 3 on the clock for the Breakers to try a miracle heave and eat into it. McCarron with the quarterback pass, can't find anyone. Ulbrich will get one last chance to have a heave at it. That's too short. And the Illawarra Hawks, a 10-point lead at quarter time. The Breakers with plenty of work to do.
So please look out if there are prizes being thrown out to your side. Let's count down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go! Build that whopper! What's going on with our chefs today? Come on! We've got the mayo. Team Ketchup, what do you think? You're in the lead! It's Nick. We've got the onions. Onions on. What are you doing, Team Mayo? What are you doing? Oh, the curtains. My favorite. Lettuce curtain. This is Nick. And Nick. We've only got the ball. Go on! Go on! Prizes will be thrown. Warning, prizes will be thrown into the crowd. So please look out for those. Let's hear it once again for Team Mayo.
Illawarra Hawks have got one job on their mind, and that is lock up top sport. And the Breakers and the big man Taco Fall, who only played the first half of that quarter, are looking to spoil the party and make them earn it again on a Friday night. But it's a 10-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks as we go courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Listened to the Breakers at the quarter time there. Unsurprisingly, the main focus was contesting without fouling. 3 times in that first quarter, they fouled 3-point shooters and sent them to the free throw line. I feel like you take those ones away, they're back in this game. So big focus for them, contesting without fouling. And Taco Fall back into the game to build on his 6 points, 2 rebounds and 3 blocks in those first 4 minutes he played.
Yeah, that was a good 4 minutes first quarter by Taco, and good to see Matt Mooney, because he hadn't troubled the scores in the first quarter. He got himself an easy 2. So hopefully that signs of good things to come as Tyler Harvey cashes one from deep.
Tyler Harvey steering down the selection of the All-NBL first team. It's an awards night that is probably one of the hotter contested first teams that we've seen in a long time. Of course, Kendrick Davis and Bryce Cotton fighting it out for the MVP, which you think, Damon, Bryce Cotton has almost got 2 hands on the trophy right now.
It is no fight. The fight's over. I've called the fight. Everybody's called the fight.
McCarron, a nice little drive through the middle, displays the finish. Harvey loses the ball on the step back. The Hawks regain it. Through the paint, the floater, one of the best shots in basketball for the Hawks. It's a low percentage for most, but not for that man.
What a touch and an early timeout from Petri Koppinen.
Well, Petri Koppinen, you speak of him. He caught up with Tom Abercrombie pre-game.
Well, Coach Kopp, final game for the season for the Breakers. How's the week been for the team leading into this one?
Well, I think we had a very solid game against Cairns here. It's nice to be here back-to-back in Auckland, playing the Spark Arena in front of our fans, and I think all of the guys want to finish with the right way. We practice still solid 2 days, prepare Illawarra, and you know it's big challenge, best team in the league at the moment, but we go out there and compete.
And how do you reflect on the season as a whole? Obviously, it's been a bit of a roller coaster for you guys, a fantastic start and a tough finish. How have you found it?
Well, like you said, you know, up and down, a lot of, you know, also a lot of frustration, you know, with us coaches, players, we kind of surprised everybody in the beginning. We played really well. The team clicked. Then obviously there was some change. We had to kind of change how we played both defensively, offensively. Then it took really long time, kind of the players learn new habits. But then step by step, the last few weeks we were always there competing, and we had a chance to win, let's say, a few more games. But you know, in the end, we were kind of there where they expect us to be before the season. You know, we were the underdog team. Nobody really didn't expect too much from us, but you know, in the end, we were there, we were competing, and you know, like you said, last game, and we tried to finish it the right way.
I'm so impressed with Petteri Kauppinen that I might just have to just go to Finland just for a holiday. Just to get a feel for his homeland.
Well, considering you just got a sauna installed in the house, you're halfway there already, David. Taco Fall with a mismatch down low, which is almost anyone within the league, and the Breakers making a point of getting it down there.
Taco's going to draw a double, and when he kicks the ball out, he kicks it out to Mitch McCarron. And again, Mitch McCarron, he's not shooting good from 3 all season. So while you would run back out there to him, Mitch just went right back inside of Taco. And let's see if Taco can knock down a couple of these, because his free throw percentage, Felix, it ain't good.
Certainly not good, but he is a momentum free throw shooter if you can make sense of that. If he starts making his first couple, as we see right there, a good sign for Breakers fans, he can string a few together. It's when he starts rattling them out of the rim early that you start to get the yips and he gets a bit worried.
Well, he's a 49% free throw shooter, and he knocks them both down.
Cop that, percentages. An 11-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks. The Breakers just feel to be holding on against the top of the table Hawks. Harvey goes straight, gets back to the floater. That one won't go. And it falls out into the wrong hands in Haste J. Lee, who's going to find his teammate wide open in the corner. And that is merely a transaction.
Great job by Mason Pitney. He kept that alive. Got that out to H.J. Lee, who made the extra pass, and Tyler finished the rest.
Great pass by Mooney to find Taco Fall. He turns it down as Lopez drops the defender, steps back, and the shot's no good. Fall guarded by Froling.
Which way do you think Taco likes to go when he gets the ball in the block?
Just get the feeling he likes to use the right hand.
Does he like to go right? I mean, I'm sure he's capable of drop stepping, but if you allow him to get 2 crab dribbles to the basket, you're going to have no choice but to foul him. You want to send a double as soon as he dribbles it.
The Illawarra Hawks doing a good job of preventing the lob pass and forcing Fall into a couple of these more one-on-one, 2-3 dribble sort of situations. And here it is, the go-to inbound play. Nice little spin around for Taco Fall and puts it in.
See, they know you're going to double team him on the out-of-bounds play, so everybody kind of still cleared out, waited for the defense to shift. Then they threw the lob. Taco finishes.
10 points, 3 minutes into the second quarter here for Taco Fall. Harvey works his way into the paint, gets it tipped away by Mooney, who claims to have been held. And it certainly looked like Tyler had a handful of something.
And this is what's the adjustment without Trey Kell. Trey Kell does a whole lot of the heavy lifting at the point. Now it's up to Tyler. So the offense just don't seem to flow as smoothly at the moment, even though they still have 35 points on the board. Good
nice pass from Mason Peatley. Finds Harvey for probably the easiest look he'll have of the night.
Mason Peatley's been huge since November, since he got into the starting lineup.
Real meat and potatoes type player, has really found himself on the back end of this year. McCarron surveys the floor through the key and back out. Fall hasn't been too effective from this part of the floor, and as I say, he gets himself to the line.
With a nice, clever little rip-through move. You don't expect that out of a big guy. But Taco has been in the NBA, been in and around the NBA long enough to know some of the tricks of the trade.
Now, I may be a glass half full guy, but I see a world next year with the Breakers having the signature of Taco for next year, where they can learn to play around him and he can become a real force in this league. While it hasn't looked pretty at times as he knocks in his 3rd free throw of the night, it's certainly a different style of basketball than we're used to in the NBL. It's a different style of basketball we're used to all over the world. But if you could find a way and you could put the pieces around him to make it work, he could prove very dangerous.
You're a glass half full guy. I'm just happy I got a glass. I'm just happy there's a glass. But look, when Taco's off the floor, because as an import, you want your import playing 16 minutes a game? So yes, he can be effective in his minutes, but his minutes are not enough. I want a 30-minute guy imported. Right now, Taco's not that. That's what I'm saying. His condition in the offseason has got to be paramount.
Certainly plenty of areas of improvement. Harvey pulls from the car park, and unfortunately, the car runs out of gas.
Didn't Tyler pull up from half court for the win a couple of years ago?
Certainly did. Well, if I had 17 points 4 minutes into the second quarter, maybe I'd just get a little bit itchy as we go courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, look, guys, if you're wondering why Taco might be wearing two different types of shoes tonight, it's because finding size 22 in New Zealand can be a little bit difficult to find. So he's had to string together a pair from two different pairs to make it fit. I don't know if you guys have got any size 22s floating around out there, but apparently they're quite hard to find.
Wow. My lord, that is that's one that I probably wouldn't volunteer just as information. You know, that
if you've got a shoe company, if you Athlete's Foot, I don't know, Foot Locker, you guys got to do some.
I believe most of those companies are working in boat restoration at the moment, but Justin Tatum caught up with Tom Abercrombie a little bit earlier.
Well, Coach Justin Tatum, history beckons for the Hawks tonight. Chance to wrap up that #1 seed for the first time in the club's history. That's got to feel good.
Yeah, it does. It does. I mean, it's a lot on the line, but today we just want to play well. We know we got a chance to make history for Illawarra and for ourselves, but at the day we just want to play better.
And what's the feeling like around Illawarra at the moment? Is excitement building? It's a small town. Everyone knows each other. Everyone excited about what the Hawkies are doing?
Yeah. The guys go around, myself, we get, go Hawks, congratulations, things like that. It's very exciting to see the impact that you made in the community.
And how do you approach this one against New Zealand tonight? Obviously a team with nothing to lose can be very dangerous opposition. How's the week been?
We just want to match their intensity. We know that they, like you said, have nothing to lose. They're professionals. Everybody want to win the game, especially their last home game. So we want to match their intensity. Hopefully we play well and make things difficult and find a way to win.
He's one of the coolest customers in the league, Justin Tatum. But you might want to put that shirt through the wash a few less times, because when you start to lose the actual wording of Illawarra on the front, maybe it's gone through a few too many times. Maybe it's the lucky shirt, though.
No, that was a trend. That's your style.
10-point leaders. Hickey goes 100 miles an hour towards the rim and picks up the foul in the process.
Young Kai Isaac subs in, gets him some early run in the second quarter. Saw him a little earlier in the season when they were a little bit depleted in the backcourt. He showed some good signs. Got a nice little lefty stroke. He's going to have his hands full tonight with Tyler and Davo Hickey coming at him.
The Breakers with their eyes towards the future at the moment.
Davo's had a rock-solid season coming off the bench. He's averaging a bunch of points, a bunch of assists and rebounds. He can get you block shots. He does all the intangibles. He provides that energy for the team. One thing about the way Davo plays, you don't know if they up 20 or down 20. He just goes about it the right way. A real spark.
Certainly does. One of the better stories in the NBL of a guy who just fought for his opportunity. A lot of clubs turned him down. A lot of clubs he spent a little bit of time with, and they said, you are no good here. But he's found his feet in Illawarra, especially under Justin Tatum, and he's one of their most important factors here.
All good. It's all good, man. We've got to jump ball, man. We're good. Good job. Good hustle. Good hustle.
That's two competitors wrestling for the ball there. Nothing untoward. The ref's doing a fantastic job. And just making sure nothing spoils over there, because we know Matt Mooney is as competitive as they come.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah, Matt's got his pride, Davo's got his pride, but it's just two competitors going after a loose ball. Hey, Tom, I see that Perry Carpenter's got young Isaac as well as bouncy Colin Davidson out there. How do you think he's approaching this game? He's just going to try to get some reps into the younger guys?
Yeah, look, we saw a little bit of this last week as well. Kai Isaac and Carlin getting pretty good minutes against Cairns and both playing really well. I think they've definitely got a little eye to the future here. These two players who are both development players with the Breakers. A little bit of a test run here to see if they're worthy of some more minutes going forwards. And certainly how they played last week gave some positive signs. Unfortunately, a little turnover there from Carlin on that occasion.
Tom, I'm just going to throw a bit of a curly one at you. It's just something that I've sort of seen around. Is there a thought that the Breakers, they'd be better off with a bit more New Zealand homegrown talent across the roster from a fan perspective?
Yeah, there's certainly a sentiment out there that we'd love to see a bit more New Zealand talent on the roster. There's certainly a lot of talented Kiwis playing international basketball at the moment and spread out all over the world. It'd be great to see some more of them come home. There's opportunities all over the world, all over the league, and there's plenty of New Zealanders playing in other teams in the NBL at the moment, but absolutely Breakers fans would love to see some more Kiwis in this team in the future.
Certainly Lopez with a nice little spin, poised move in the paint. You think back to those teams that Tom won championships with, there was a lot of Kiwi locals on those teams, and they had a real identity as New Zealanders. And of course, the management doing a fantastic job with the Breakers at the moment. This season, a little bit different, but it wasn't too far removed that they were in the finals, Dane.
Well, if a certain guy didn't retire too early.
And Carlin Davidson upstairs says, no, 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 Mr. Albrecht.
We all know how bouncy Carlin Davidson is. He turned down a wide open 3-ball in the last possession. If he can incorporate that, it's Toddy Blanchfield.
Mason Peatling just cleaning it up, meat and potatoes operator. Draws the foul.
Every team needs a Mason Peatling. That guy, right now, Melbourne United got one in Kyle Bowen. Those kind of guys that you don't need to run plays for, but they always got a nose for the ball. Connectors, if you will. Team first guys. It's good to see these guys getting rewarded.
Lured to Illawarra after spending a couple of years with Melbourne United.
And just quietly, the New Zealand Breakers have done a good job restricting the Hawks to only 12 points so far this quarter.
The New Zealand Breakers has been the tail of their team. When PJC's out of this team, it's just a little bit harder to find an avenue to victory on the scoreboard. Mooney is the one they'll look to. Finds his way into the paint, pulls up, cashes it.
Took advantage of Dave O'Hickey's over-pressuring kind of in the backcourt. Gave him a clear run to the paint. Got to be able to contain the ball.
Back to single figures. Toddy Blanchfield does it the hard way, but that'll be 3 nonetheless.
Toddy going for a career high if he keeps this up. Already on 11 points. He's got the free throws, 6 of 6 from the foul line.
For other teams looking in to want to knock off the Hawks, a hot Toddy Blanchfield coming off the bench is not something you want to see at all. Now, the Hawks have done a better job than any team of having deep scoring throughout their team. We mentioned before, 10 players with 15 or more points at some point during this season. But Blanchfield, he's a guy that can light up a game. He's a veteran, he's a smart player, and he can shoot the life out of the ball. 4, skip pass, Isaac. That one's good for the young fella.
He's got to stroke the lefty.
And he gives a bit of a yell back to the bench as well. It's guys like that that can fire up a team. And the first 3 of the game for the Breakers, 1 for 9.
And that's what Taco can do out of a double team. He can find the open man. He can see everybody.
H.J. Lee makes a business decision and avoids Taco Fall, but he gets another go at it. Taco, that one's going to be called for goaltending.
It's off the backboard. Backboard first.
Have a look at the Amy replay here, and you put the young fella in the game and he rewards you, Damon.
Yep, Taco did a good job, drew the double team. All you got to do is spot up and shoot it with confidence. As Matt Mooney wiggles his way to the rack for Deuce.
The Breakers just hanging around, finding it a bit hard on the offensive end, but playing some great defense along the other way. Can't leave that man open too many times as he's proved so far. Good tip by H.J. Lee, but that one's going to fall out of bounds.
Toddy's one of those few guys in the league that you are perfectly fine with him taking some 3 balls, even if they kind of guard it, because the guy's stroke is just that nice. He stretches the defense, and when he's hot, we all know what he can do.
Where would you rate Sam Menenga amongst the bigs of the league when he's at his best?
When he's at his best, probably top 10. But that's the issue. Yeah, no, when Sam's up and about.
I'm talking about just amongst the other bigs in the league, not in general. That's a top 10 player in the league when he's at his best.
No, not a top 10 player in the league. I'm talking about the bigs.
There's 10 teams in the league.
Yeah, top 10.
It's a pretty easy one to
well, he ain't had
he's a little better than that.
He hasn't had a great season.
22 seconds.
He's averaging 12 and 5. So, what, 9th, 8th? Like, what do you want? What do you ask?
I think Sam Menenga at his best is one of the top-tier bigs in this league. Now, consistency has been the issue for him, but as the Hawks just fall back into his zone, Davidson finds Lopez, nice little pick pass, but the Hawks will get loose.
Whoa, that could have...
Hey, hold on.
Matt Mooney always finds himself in the middle of whatever's going on.
That was a professional, very hard foul. And
Will Hickey tough as nails, so you won't see him complaining.
he extended the hand. Now That wasn't that hard of a foul.
Will Hickey, when you're moving at that sort of pace and you're up off your feet, nothing untoward whatsoever.
In Pettery Competent, that Euro flavor, sometimes the Euros, they give away fouls like that just to stop a fast break. I wouldn't be encouraging Matt Mooney to do it, though, because can't afford to have him getting in foul trouble.
Good point.
No one really in major foul trouble for either team right now. Sam Froling with the 2 fouls. Karim Lopez with the 2 for New Zealand. Refs, for the most part, letting these two teams play. Harvey finds Blanchfield, a hot hand in the corner. Doesn't draw the foul that time. And Mooney will clean it up. Tough pass for Isaac. Menenga manages to get his hands on it, but it'll fall back out of bounds.
Toddy nearly got himself another 3 free throws. But I like the way he hit the floor, got up, sprinted back to help out on defensive transition. We see a lot of players just lay down and look at the referee, hoping to get bailed out and forget about the other end.
Toddy's a guy that draws, much like Bryce Cotton, they draw a lot of three-point shooting fouls because they get a lot of height on their jump shot. They jump right out of their feet on that jump shot. It's a little tougher to draw a foul when you're shooting much more stationary shot, but there's a lot of air there. Nine-point lead. The Breakers just hanging on. Can they continue to eat into this lead and put the pressure on the top of the table Hawks?
And here's young Kyle Isaac trying to defend Tyler Harvey, flying out of that corner, trying to fight through a pin down.
This is 4 if you guys got bonus next time. Guys, hey guys, 14 foul now.
They got 4 fouls.
Tensions just overflowing a little bit there with Coppin and Mooney. And cameras may have caught it that time, but I can guarantee you, Damon, that ain't the first time those two have gone head-to-head. Blanchfield again from the outside. Can't convert that one. Has not met a shot that he hasn't liked so far, Todd Blanchfield. Great defense in the backcourt from H.J. Lee.
You like when your players got some passion, got some fire in them, but you don't want to be arguing with your player in a situation like that. I'm sure they'll shake hands in the halftime. They'll come to an agreement.
Davo Hickey goes coast to coast to make it an 11-point margin. Now, Damon, it is an incredibly interesting night. It's been an incredible week in the basketball world.
See, you're seeing players now going at each other. I'm saying, you know what, you're going to wait till the last game of the season to start fighting?
Well, you know what, maybe they've got a reservation somewhere for tonight. Maybe they're ready to just wrap this one up. But it's been an amazing week in the basketball world. Of course, over in the NBA, Luka Doncic, a shock trade for Anthony Davis. Now, the geniuses at the Breakers marketing department have said, if your name is Luka or Anthony tonight, you can go free to the game tonight at Spark Arena. Now, there's a couple coming, but
no way.
This kid here, one of the most unbelievable outcomes you could possibly get. His name is Santino Doncic Luka.
Get out of here.
Santino Doncic Luka, and he's sitting courtside.
What are the odds?
Probably pretty low.
Oh, wow.
Pretty damn low. So congratulations, Santino Doncic Luka. And amazingly, as a betting man, I would have said a couple of Anthony Davises are going to rock up. Now, maybe that's not a popular name in New Zealand. But no Anthony Davises, but we've got Santino Doncic Luka sitting courtside for free.
I'll tell you what, Luka isn't in the building right now. Luka Brasi. You know why? Because he's swimming with the fishes. You don't even get that.
Do not get that at all, and I don't get it so much that we're going to go and find out what's happening on this New Zealand bench with Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, not great signs on the New Zealand bench. The conversation continued between Matt Mooney and Coach Kopp, as well as some other players trying to get in there and break it up a little bit. But it was getting pretty heated on the sidelines. Ended up with Matt Mooney just saying, I'm sorry, and sitting back down. Looked like Kopp wanted to send him out to the changing rooms for a little bit there. Let's see if the Breakers can work through this.
Well, it's interesting because Matt Mooney has voiced that staying in New Zealand could be a possibility for him, and he's open to those conversations. So you probably don't want to have too many interactions like that towards the back end of the year, but he has said that he loves playing under Coach Pettery Coppin.
He apologized. He apologized and move on. It's a passionate, fiery game.
2 minutes left in the first half, an 11-point lead. Can Will Hickey make that further? Yes, he can, upstairs.
Athletic Davo Hickey didn't settle for the 3-ball, attacked the ring. One of the most under-assuming athletes in the league.
Underassuming.
I think he's kind of underassuming.
Very athletic. Lopez. Nice poised move. Finds Anticevic for the mid-range. Old school basketball. Can't get him to fall, but Lopez will clean it back up. Errant pass tipped off. And somehow the Breakers have managed to retain possession. Lopez steps back into the shot. Clock rattles out. Menenga once again comes up with it. And finally, the Illawarra Hawks take it the opposite direction. Harvey left open. Blanchfield yet again. And that one's no good after a hot start. Blanchfield 0 for 3 on as many attempts. Isaac, can he go 2 for 2? No, he can't. But Lopez will fight for the board, and they're the little things, Damon. It's all good and well to show that poise and get in the paint, go upstairs, but it's crashing the offensive glass, playing great defense that is going to continue to get that man's name skyrocketing up the draft boards.
Yeah, I hear you, but what about Luca Brasi? You mean to tell me you ain't never heard that?
I'm a Soprano. I'm a Sopranos man.
So you haven't seen The Godfather?
No, I haven't. I have not seen it. I got ADHD and it's too long. my brain will be swimming with the fishes by the time I get through that movie. I would have found something else to play. Oh, I'd be rattling the keys or something, a chew toy.
Can I work with somebody a little bit older, please, so my references don't go over people's heads?
I'd probably keep it around the sort of Finding Nemo region if you want to get me to get any sort of references. And Lopez, God knows what movies Lopez would have been watching.
He's doing a good job not picking up his third foul. We want to see him on the floor, especially the majority of this second half is coming up.
Under a minute remained the first half. Hickey, fresh off a slam, gets in, turns it round. Froling. Guarded by Menenga, pulls up. Gets back in there into the right hand for a change.
That's what he did with that foot.
Some Sam on Sam action. And Sam can go right. He crabs, those 2 crab dribbles. He's 2 inches from the basket. He can make that little righty. It just didn't go for him that time.
Chris Pongrass from the Sydney Kings this week signaling that they would have some interest in Sam Froling. Of course, he's mentioned that he's in talks at the moment with the Illawarra Hawks. And I tell you what, when I called the game up in Illawarra, I saw him driving with the top down in the car, aviators on, hair flowing in the wind. It might be more than money.
Like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption?
I'd say I know that one. You ain't going to get me out there. Very much like Andy Dufresne. And we've got a coach's challenge on this call coming from Illawarra. What's your record like on coach's challenges this year?
I think I'm below 50%.
Well, that's a good shooter in my book.
Yeah. I mean, in a situation like this, what do you got to lose right before the half?
The call.
Obviously the call, but you got 11-point lead. Your team is, the Breakers are hanging around.
So we have a look here, just a little closer inspection on what's being challenged, on who that came out of. Tough to see with a lot of bodies there in the way about whether that ball actually was out.
Didn't look out to me from... Yeah, but
this is a tough one for the official with so many bodies flying around. Can you get the angle? That looks to be the one, and it does look like...
The ref is right there on it.
Well, it looks like Dave O'Hickey might have even stepped out before that, which obviously won't be involved with the challenge call. Well, Scott Butler and his team working hard to find a result on this one. If we can't really get an angle from the camera, then neither can they, and you'd imagine that that one just goes back to the original call.
Yeah, this is a non-event, this particular challenge for mine. But if you're the Hawks...
Unsuccessful, and you'd imagine that's unsuccessful due to not enough evidence.
The Breakers are shooting 9% from deep, 1 of 11 from the three-point line. So if you're the Illawarra Hawks, you just want to not give them wide open with threes, but you don't want to be closing out long on anybody and literally play the percentages.
17 first half points for Tyler Harvey, leads the way for the Hawks. Lopez, so poised, we say it time and time again, the Euro step.
The finger roll.
It is scary to think what sort of level he's going to be at with another off-season. I don't know what trainer, whether he goes back home, whether he stays in New Zealand for the off-season. But here's a remarkable talent, he's only getting better. 2-second differential between the shot and game clock. Hickey sizes up Lopez, gets him to shake a little bit, but great defense. And good defense on that possession from the Breakers, and they'll be rewarded with one last chance at it.
Yeah,
Kareem in the lead with 2.8 to go.
Davo put the patented hezzy on him, but Kareem, he bit on it, but he stayed in the play. Got his team in possession. Oh, no.
And the pass is off. Hickey's going to get one last look for the Hawks. A little too short, but a 9-point lead for the Hawks here. The New Zealand Breakers doing a good job of hanging around in this ball game. A lot to play for as the Hawks look to lock up top spot for the first time in their club's history. And the Breakers, well, they've probably got reservations somewhere else on this Wednesday night.
Yeah, they'll be hanging out tonight at some stage, but they're thinking they can win this game. They won that quarter only by a point, but you can just tell they have not thrown in the towel. So the Hawks are going to have to keep playing these last 20 minutes. And you can see how much different the Hawks team look without Trey Kell orchestrating at the point.
Well, let's head down to Tom Abercrombie with the player of the half.
Yeah, I'm joined here by Todd Blanchfield. Todd, it looked like the floodgates were about to open for you for a second there. You pretty happy with how you shot it in the first half?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's when you play alongside guys like Frols and Tyler, it's, you know, you're going to get open shots eventually. So it's nice to be able to knock them down. But you know, I think we gave up, 26, maybe 24 points that quarter. So that's something we're probably going to address at half time.
Yeah, you haven't just quite been able to put away the Breakers. What do you got to do in the second half to extend that gap out a little bit more?
I think there's been some offensive rebound that sort of led to probably 4, 6, maybe 8 second chance points. And then, I mean, Taco's a handful inside. You know, we got to try and limit what we can there and keep playing our style of basketball. You know, we like to get out and run, and you got to keep that up in the second half.
Good luck in the second half, mate.
Appreciate it, mate. Thanks.
Big second half of basketball coming up. A 9-point lead for the Hawks, looking to lock up that top spot. But the Breakers, they've shown a whole lot of fight towards the back end. And you get the feeling we've got another half of fight coming up from them.
They blend traditional Chinese elements with modern dance styles, bringing the power and beauty of new Chinese dance to life. Let's hear it for the secret crew from Hostile Entertainment. Ladies and gentlemen, and it's now time for the BNZ Rewards Mix and Match game. Flip, match, win, but this is your opportunity, ladies and gentlemen, to help our contestants out. You are their eyes. Look where the cards are. If they match 2 cards, they get a $100 gift card.
Welcome back to Wednesday Night Hoops. The Illawarra Hawks looking to lock up top spot. Tyler Harvey with 17 points at the half is definitely to do it on his own with no Trey Cal, his backcourt partner, out there as well. But Kai Isaac, the young fella in the New Zealand Breakers, certainly are not going to go down without a fight. Damon Lowry joins me. You've been fantastic in the first half. The Illawarra Hawks, are they doing everything that they need to do right now heading into finals and, of course, locking up top spot? But for them, it's more about form than anything else.
Yeah, so far so good. Illawarra Hawks are playing a reasonable amount of defense. I mean, they're holding the Breakers to 40 points. First of all, it's hard to win on the road. They got off to a good start early, forced the Breakers into quite a few turnovers and a low shooting percentage. Right now, Justin Tatum will be relatively pleased, but until you finish it for the next 2 quarters, it don't count.
Do not let the Breakers record fool you. At Spark Arena, this is a very, very different team, which is where they're playing tonight. Now, the Hungry Jacks highlights it is all about Tyler Harvey. He dropped Mooney early, and look at that one. A nice little pass down low that could have been the worst shot of all time if Sam Froling didn't see that coming, but he's been special in the first half, as he has been all year.
17 points, 6 of 10 from the field. He's playing more to point now that Trey Kell is out, but he's still a scorer. It doesn't matter. He's doing a better job of taking care of the ball. Just got to tidy up a few little defensive breakdowns, which wasn't monumentally costly, but just enough to, keep the Breakers kind of feeling confident about themselves as we look at this Blackmore shot chart. The guys are scoring, ladies and gentlemen. Teardrops, floaters, runners, you name it.
Well, of course, Tyler Harvey, his selflessness has been a big key to why the Illawarra Hawks have been so good this year. Of course, we saw it at the back end of last year, and we're seeing it this year as well, potentially all NBL first team for the superstar. But as we head to the break, I'll tell you what, Thursday, tomorrow, the Sunshine Stoush, but Friday night is where the big stuff happens. There is a lot still on the line in the final round of NBL basketball. The Illawarra Hawks taking on the Sydney Kings. That's going to be at 7:30 p.m. And then, of course, coming after that, the Perth Wildcats and the Adelaide 36ers. Bryce Cotton, he's got 2 hands. He's maybe even already got at his house the MVP award. But Kendrick Davis will get one last chance to make his case for it. It's all happening NBL Friday nights.
Playing game on the road, Sydney, Kudos Bank. It's one of the most vivid memories of a basketball game that I probably have had in time in my career, playing over 20 years.
Well, the consequences for the winner and the loser couldn't be any more clear in the Harbour City tonight.
The magnitude of the game and what we were up against, nobody thought we could win that game but us. The underdog thing is, it can work in your favor.
You can just feel the tension here, can't you, Terry? You can really feel it.
And it was such a fun game. I think that's probably one of the most fun games I've ever played in my basketball career. And I really relish in those moments when you have to lay it all out on the line and you are the underdog and you have to play with a certain chip on your shoulder and you have to overcome.
Where did you have him in your top 15?
Number 7.
Oh, come on, Derek. 7?
How has the feedback been, Ruck?
It's
Been very, Jack. Let's just put it at that.
big games is where players stake their reputations, and Parker Jackson Cartwright is enhancing his tonight. Bumped, scores! You're king! What a night this man has had. Wow. In a season of struggle, not once have the New Zealand Breakers given up. The score here would just about see the Breakers home. Parker Jackson Cartwright silences Kudos Bank Arena. That is enormous.
He says, Sydney, you want to see the anti-hero? Here I am.
New Zealand win over the Sydney Kings. And tonight, in the face of extreme adversity, the Breakers keep their season alive.
That moment after the game with Rucker especially, you know, it's a part of the game. And for himself, he knows what that would feel like because he was a player. He's played at the highest level before. So he knows the type of player and person I am, that in that moment, you know, that's how I felt. It made for maybe a good story or drama or whatever anybody else wants to call it, but I just call it passion in that moment, overcoming in a game that meant so much.
We just want to win. We don't care what nobody's saying. It's about Breakers basketball, Breakers family.
To come out on that side of a W was the pinnacle of that season. In NBL, literally every moment matters.
Tell you what, if that does not get you fired up, Damon Lowry, then go watch Antiques Roadshow or something, because the NBL finals are not for you. The play-in tournament, which for me is just as exciting as when we get to the meat and bones of it towards the back end. And the teams right now, plenty of them, are not going to be wanting to face the Adelaide 36ers in that play-in game.
Man, if that play-in game can be half of what Parker Jackson Cartwright, that Sydney Kings game turned out to be, we are in for a treat.
It is unbelievable. We had some unbelievable finals. You only need to look back at last year to see just how special it can get. But it's time to go to Tom Abercrombie courtside. What have you got for us?
Well, I tell you what, fellas, that got me hyped up as well. I got goosebumps watching that, reliving some old memories. Fantastic first half from Illawarra. Really impressed with what I saw. I thought their energy, the way they attacked the offensive rebounds, mix up their defenses was really good. The Breakers, they're going to have to stay together in the second half. We saw some cracks starting to appear on the sidelines. They got 20 minutes in their season left. They've got to stay together and put something together for their home fans. Illawarra trying to take this one home.
Tom, I've just noticed, I made a joke 2 weeks ago about you wearing the same jacket as me, and I left it over there. Now this week, did I hurt your feelings? Because you've come with no jacket at all.
Well, I tell you what, it's very hot in Auckland today, and I actually left it at home. I was on my way to the stadium. It's about a 45-minute drive in traffic, so I don't think anyone would notice, but I should have known that you would, Felix.
I was feeling bad for a moment there.
And Matt Mooney starts his third quarter on the pond.
That's an interesting one. As Tom Abercrombie said, and we saw the vision of it a little bit earlier, a confrontation between Petteri Koponen, and it wouldn't be the end of the season that Matt Mooney would want being benched in the final half of their season. 9-point lead to the Illawarra Hawks, looking to lock up top spot with a win here. McCarron can't get that one to fall.
Good defense by the Hawks. They knew what was coming. The taco play. They closed out hard to Jonah, made him make the extra pass to McCarron, and that's who you want shooting threes if you are the Hawks.
And one, he just takes one step and knocks it in. Potential defensive player of the year. Show me what he can do on the other end of the floor.
And we've seen Mr. McCarron make threes. But I'm just saying, at the moment, he's like a 14-15% three-point shooter, so you got to play the percentages.
Lopez shakes and bakes and finds the shooter on the outside in King, who gets that one to go.
That was tough, Mo King.
Lead back to 9.
You know Mojave's only 22 years of age.
It's remarkable with the guys.
Seems like he's been around for ages.
Finds nothing but air. It's a lot of guys you find like that have been around the NBL for a long time. You forget just how young they are. Owen Foxwell at the Phoenix is another one of those guys. There's a bit of an errant pass there. The wraparound attempt from Lopez.
Mojave still like he's had a taste of what the NBA, you know, been over there in the G League. He will still have his eyes set on getting back into the league. Hasn't had the best season this year, but his athleticism is still there. He can still shoot the three ball, and he's got youth on his side.
Swakala bullet. Harvey works off the on ball, stops on a dime and cashes it.
Going to his right, going to his left, doesn't matter. Step backs. He's got every three-point shot in the shot tree.
One of the hardest workers that I've ever come across as well. There was a lot of nights where plenty of people were out partying, including myself, and Tyler Harvey was working on his game.
You were out what?
Partying.
I don't believe it.
I know, a fallacy. Swakala bullet, direct line at the rim. Bolden pulls him up, and Harvey is going to get another look at it. Gets into the paint. Nice little pass to Froling, but McCarron goes upstairs and denies it.
Referee says all ball.
Referee says, hey, there's a little room to play for the smaller players on the floor when we talk about blocking the big guys. Harvey will get it back from Froling. Works off the on ball. Finds Froling again. Some nice little pocket passes all throughout this game from Tyler Harvey. Courtside to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, a little update on Matt Mooney, guys. He stayed in the locker room. He won't be coming out onto the bench in the second half. Not sure what the disagreement was or where the confrontation occurred on the bench, but obviously not something that Coach Kopp could stand for. So I like the stance from him, keeping him in the locker room. The guys that want to be there are on the bench for the second half.
Wow.
Oh, I'm with it.
Hey.
Oh, I'm with it.
I'm with you, Damon.
That's leadership. We ain't gonna have this, man. We're already 9th place on the ladder. Now you're gonna go at me and challenge me on the bench? And Kopp ain't the kind of, Coach Kopp ain't the kind of guy that's out there humiliating guys and berating them like some past New Zealand Breakers coaches can get a little bit too intense. So now, Matt Mooney, sit the rest of this one out, man.
We can certainly only assume on what went on between Coach Coppin and Matt Mooney, but it's a big call to leave one of your superstar imports, especially with PJC out of the game, in the locker room. Hey, Shea Lee from the corner, no good.
He's like, I can lose without you. We've been losing with you. That's an easy call if you ask me. But I'm not going to let that discourage me from next season.
Certainly not the way that Matt Mooney wanted to end his tenure with the New Zealand Breakers.
I like how Parker Jackson Cartwright is still engaged. He's not playing, he's injured. He could be on the plane somewhere. He's finishing out his contract, his deal, staying with his brothers.
Let's go line up.
Missed the last 3 games with a rib injury. And of course, has already signed with the Lithuanian team. So would be forgiven for taking off. He can't take part in this final game. But of course, just a testament to his character and why the New Zealand Breakers have offered him the largest contract in their club's history to hang around. And perennial MVP contender. We saw that feature package coming in from halftime about how special he was in that play-in series. And of course, the New Zealand Breakers are going to pull out all the stops to bring him back.
The beauty of the NBL, one of the beauties, is how it's a short season. So guys like Parker, they can still go overseas and still pick up some really good dollars somewhere else and always come back here. It's only a 29-game season. Hopefully he'll play more with playoffs next time around.
Sam Froling, it's not going to get much easier than that. A breakdown defensively for the Breakers. Bairstow guarded intently by Swakala-Bullock. Fall hasn't played much of a role in this quarter. Gets it to Bairstow, who's going to go up, under, and around.
Sean Bairstow's an interesting one. I love his athleticism. He's had some good games this year. He needs to establish himself as a major player in the NBL, a guy that you want to, like a high rotation guy, like a 6th or 7th man type off the bench. He's got good athleticism. It's Tyler going to his left this time. What a shoot.
23 points. Tyler Harvey going to the left, going to the right. As you said before, it needs no worry. Lopez steps back. Can't answer the Tyler Harvey call.
Pull.
And when he's hot, he's hot. And he's hot right now. Tyler Harvey, back-to-back triples.
That's because they don't have a center out there on the floor that can come up on ball screens. So for all those dunks that Taco gets, this is what you give up. We look at the Amy replay, good extra kick out by Taco, and Sean Bairstow shows his athleticism. But it's right here. Taco's in a deep drop, and that's Tyler Harvey. This is why Taco cannot be on the floor for long passages of play. So he can be mad at all the so-called criticism he wants. He goes back and watches this. That defense right there is unsustainable in this particular league.
Sean, Sam, watch out, take care of the press. After, Kareem, Sam here, Kareem, you get open. Mo, this corner, Mo here, JB here. Kareem, get open. Sean, pass the ball. Kareem, good back screen for Kareem. Say this guy, start high. After nothing, we play and pin down for Mo. Three up.
The big story in this second half is no Matt Mooney. After a confrontation in the first half, saw him and Coach Petteri Koppinen go head-to-head, a verbal joust. And Petteri Koppinen, clearly that has continued into the locker room, and he has said, you are taking no part in this second half. You ain't even sitting on the bench, and Matt Mooney has remained in the locker room.
Yeah, it's hard enough to win, and when you got your import, clearly, you know, that's almost mutiny as far as I'm concerned. So now you got to sit this one out. And Jonah takes his second shot of the game. I don't know how Jonah Bolden sleeps good at night knowing that he only taking 1 or 2 shots a game with walking around with all that talent.
We've been focusing as a legal play there by Lopez trying to block that one away. We've been focusing a lot on what's going on with the Breakers, but the top of the table, Illawarra Hawks, well, they're cruising nicely to a 16-point lead. And Abercrombie, you were listening into the timeout.
Yeah, lots of talk in that timeout from Illawarra about burying these guys. They can smell the blood in the water at the moment in the Breakers. They want to bury these guys, continue to hold them down at the defensive end, not allow them any easy scores, and try and bury them in this third quarter.
Tatum certainly has seen his team drop some games that they definitely should have won, as Lopez almost pulls off the impossible. He's going to get it back. Bairstow. Can't get that to fall, and a bit too much contact on the rebound effort there, but Tatum, he's seen his team drop games that they shouldn't to teams exactly like this Breakers unit right now, and he does not want to see that happen again.
And we see teams in the league who can play a great quarter, get a nice lead, and then blow it, end up winning close. Justin Tatum saying we need to be able to develop that killer instinct and literally bury a team and turn this 16-point lead into a 25, 30-point win.
Hickey. Tyler Harvey, he's 2 for 2 on his last 2 attempts, and he can't make it through.
Mo King was caught in 2 minds, whether to help out on that potential back pick for Frawley, but when Tyler's in this kind of mode, that's too crowded in there, Sean, for that. When Tyler's in this kind of mode, you got to treat him like Chris Golding. There's no helping.
Defensive Player of the Year, Damon, it is between, I know you spoke about it on overtime, but I'll ask you to speak about it again. Wani Swakala-Bullock or Shea Ili? Which side of the coin do you play?
I'm going to go with Shea Ili, and here's why. Wani is a rock-solid positional defender, does honest things on defense, doesn't make any kind of real glaring mistakes. That's why he is in my all-imaginary first-team all-defense. But Shea Ili is a total disruptor. If you're trying to be efficient on offense and Shea's on the court, good luck to you.
If you've hit the nail on the head there. If you want to play a lockdown for one single possession, one-on-one, Wani Swakalo-Bullock is that man. But if you want an entire team's offense disrupted, diving on the floor, getting deflections, Shaylee's you guys. It'll be interesting to see which way the judges go on that.
And this is why we need an all-defensive team, because it can't, you know, it's just going to be Shea most times out of the, you know, every year. I like to see guys like even a Malik Lewis or Christian Doolittle. You know, if Will Magnay probably didn't play enough games, but there's a lot of defenders out there that's just not getting recognized.
Certainly plenty campaigning for it online. All NBL defense stuff. King sizes up the defender, gets off the on ball, the contested pull-up. It's a tough shot, and it doesn't go. 16-point lead right now for the Illawarra Hawks. The Breakers just holding on. A lot of work to do remain in this game, but still plenty of time left. Great defensive pressure from King. Will take it away. Can't contain it in transition. And Hickey with the great pass to Shaylee, who gets a rare double.
Was that, I don't want to say that was cherry picking, but it was close.
Hey, you know what?
It was close.
3-point shooters are allowed to cherry pick. Bairstow assumes the point guard duties. Gets him out of their feet. Nice little pass down low, and King will put it down.
Good job, Mo King, moving out the ball, because Sean Bairstow had the ball a long time. That's what happens when you run a pick and roll early. Your offense can get a little bit terminal. I like to see him get it through hands before they go to that ball screen, as Toddy gets another wide open 3-ball.
Gets that one to fall. It was a while between drinks after his first couple, but he finds the ocean again. 19-point lead for the Hawks. A whole lot of work to do. This will stem the bleeding a touch from Enter Savage.
Enter Savage is a shooter. 44% from downtown. Every team he's ever been on, guy knows how to shoot the ball.
Very solid college career as well, as Will Hickey works his way into the paint, goes up and gets it to fall.
University of California, if I'm not mistaken.
Very good school. Menenga hasn't been able to get his teeth into this game. And Lopez tries to throw the overpass. Goes the wrong direction.
And you see Petri Coppinen trap that. They turn, Lopez turns the ball over, and Hawks are in transition. They get fast breakers happening, and Sean Bairstow gives up the foul. That is very European. Take it from the side. Not an unsportsmanlike foul, just a professional foul to stop the break.
Well, there's certainly some basketball IQ and pedigree when it comes to the Bairstow name. Shaylee. Frolic. Easy lane to the basket, and he'll continue to push this lead out.
Only Sam Meninga's first foul, but he hasn't had a lot of impact on this game. Only 2 of 5 from the field.
As we said before, consistency, the key for Sam Meninga. Now, I think you were a little harsh saying only just a top 10. If the issue is consistency.
Did you hear me when I said he's had 11 games in single figures?
I certainly did.
There's only 29 in the season. Yes, his best is good, but we just hardly ever see it on a regular basis.
He certainly gets into a purple patch, and he's has a good 2 or 3 games, then he drops back to that default. McCarroll will just slow down the offense.
Do you realize there's not an import on the floor right now?
Is that a good or a bad thing?
I don't like it.
He's one of them's in the locker room.
I don't like it.
Blanchfield will wrestle it away from McCarron. 2 veterans going at it on the boards. 21-point lead. Frolling fades away. Can't get it to drop. And McCarron, as he always is, right in there on the boards. Hard screen by Menenga at the half-court line. He's going to get it back, and he's going to go up. And he's going to go down hard when he lands.
Good pick and roll, good pocket pass. Sam knows how to finish.
Wide 11 from behind, push. One shot.
2 minutes and a quarter left for this Breakers team, who are just hanging on for dear life.
I didn't see the foul. I saw a bad landing. Let me see.
So Greta, just any contact as they're going up, and the refs, of course, player safety is paramount, especially in those sort of positions.
He might have got a hand, a couple of fingertips on his back.
Good call from the official.
One shot.
Either way, Sam's annoyed with the refs when he can probably direct that anger elsewhere, maybe inward. As he's 3 of 6 from the field. 8 points on the game. This game ain't over, but they're gonna need Sam to step it up. Meninga, that is, to get this game closer.
Hickey up top. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Blanchfield. Oh, 2 for 2 this half.
Daniel Greta, I saw that Daniel Greta unselfishness. Davo kind of directed traffic. Daniel Greta goes up and sets a little screen for Toddy to get another wide open triple.
Blanchfield playing with a Townsville-esque green light right now. Davidson from the corner. Can't complete, and Harvey will rake it in. A little over a minute remain in this third term. Olbrich, we haven't seen too much of him tonight. Greta pulls up. Ooh, count it off the glass.
2 dribble, shot fake, 2 dribble, pull up and kiss it. Don't always get to see Greta's offensive package. Good to see him taking advantage of these minutes.
Well, the best thing for the Illawarra Hawks, once they've locked up top spot, is just to be able to get a couple of these guys who you never know could come in as X factors during the series, which always pulls out some surprises. Antisevich with the errant pass. Greta will chase it down, can't keep it in bounds.
Yeah, why don't you just let Greta just go flying by him? Didn't try to hold him up. He just got out of the way. That's a 23-point lead to the Hawks.
I believe
holding the Breakers to the 19.
Math checks out.
Yep, holding the 19-point quarter. The importantness New Zealand Breakers at the moment.
Davidson off the bounce. Little left-hand run is no good. Little under 30 seconds remain in the third term, which has been all the Illawarra Hawks. They came in with a 9-point lead, and they have pushed that all the way out to 23. 3-second differential between shot and game clock.
This is going up.
Harvey guarded by Isaac. He's got 26 points on the night. Antisevich with the switch. Harvey gets around. Nice little pass to Greta, who's going to run the shot clock out.
Tyler didn't need that screen that Toddy Blanchfield came up and tried to give him. Just brought his defender there, took the ball out of Tyler's hands, and Tyler's hot right now.
And Taco Fall just hasn't really been able to get back into this game since the first quarter. Kai Isaac's final heave. Can't get the job done. But the Illawarra Hawks back to their dominant best in the third term. Can the Breakers salvage the final quarter of their season? We'll see. Not far away.
for all of our chance. And this is one that you can clap along to. Let's hear you for recognition.
Tyler Harvey, 26 points on the night. Is he making a case or cementing his case for all NBL first team? Trey Kell sitting this one out. Could that be costly in the eyes of the voters? But overall, the Illawarra Hawks, they care little for individual awards, Damon Lowry. Right now, they're on the verge, barring a miracle from a Matt Mooney-less Breakers team. They're going to be locking up top spot right here, right now.
They've done a good job. 3 quarters of defense. Held the Breakers at 19 that quarter. Yes, they don't have a lot of firepower out there, the Breakers, but you can only play who's in front of you. And it's the way you go about it. And that's a great skip pass, Davo.
29 points on the night for Tyler Harvey. And the Breakers have proven to be a tough team to play against, along with the Cairns Taipans, both teams towards the bottom of the ladder, because as we've said time and time again, one of the scariest things is a man who does not fear death. And for teams who can't make the finals, they're playing for nothing but pride, and they're playing loose and free. And the Illawarra Hawks have fallen victim to them a couple of times. Greeter pushes the pace. The Hawks in absolutely no rush. Blanchfield has not met a shot he doesn't like throughout this entire game. He is playing with Townsville vision, David.
That was an unassuming. I didn't think he was going to pull that up, but I like the way the Hawks are playing even with this lead. Sometimes teams just get gun happy. It's Mitch McCarron. You got nothing to lose.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe you just heard that you've been calling him a non-shooter for the entire night. Word's gotten down to Spark Arena.
Well, when you're shooting 15%, there's only one way to go, and that's up.
Yeah, might be stating the facts. Get up! Greeter gets it and goes up. Dan Greeter, he hasn't seen a huge amount of time this year, but he's relishing his time on the floor here.
Emptied out one side. Greeter comes flying out of that corner. Davo is orchestrating traffic beautifully.
Talk about a guy that fits the Illawarra lifestyle to a T. It's Dan Greeter. It's Kai Isaac. He's had a pretty good performance across the night. Bit errant there. No, tough pass there from Will Hickey in transition, and Isaac will push it the other way. McCarron. Veteran move, protect your shot with the rim. For all the kids watching, that's how you attack it in transition.
Teams also have to know how to play with a lead. You're not trying to obviously milk the game, but you're also not going all cowboy style. You still want to run your stuff.
Hickey guarded by McCarron. Works off the Olbrich on ball. McCarron on the hip. Olbrich.
3 seconds.
Good defense there, and right there is where you see the benefit of Taco Fall on the defensive end.
Yeah, you got to make an earlier decision than that. This McCarron pump fakes, gets it to go.
The smallest of pump fakes, and Dan Greeter. He's always, you talk about a guy that's had a tough run with injuries, and he is the most vocal at the end of their bench, and sometimes he certainly is no towel waver. This is a talented kid who's had some tough injuries. And again, we talk about X factors. Who's going to pop up in a final series? It would not shock me. Lopez jabs down, no good. Hayes J. Lee, the sniper, gets into the paint. Nice little flip-up shot and gets it over the bigger Taco Fall.
Good take by HJ. Mo King's got to do a better job keeping his man in front of him. Might have got clipped, but there ain't no excuses out here.
Right now, the Breakers just struggling to keep a lid on this game. McCarron. King off the bounce, goes up. Can't rattle it home.
Think we've seen the last of Tyler Harvey? No, we haven't. Here he comes.
I'll tell you what,
that 30-piece.
I'll tell you what, that 30-piece looks real nice in that application for all NBL first team, even though the game's dead. There's plenty to play for. McCarron. Taco Fall gets it in a position that he struggled to score from. And the Hawks have done a good job of just keeping him out on that mid-block, and the commentator's curse as I say it. Hits us with a little Kobe.
I ain't never seen a 7'6" shoot a turnaround jumper from the midi like that. That becomes part of the package.
Someone who knows a whole lot about the NBL finals and winning championships is Tom Abercrombie, who we're lucky enough to have courtside. The Illawarra Hawks, where do you put them at right now, Tom?
Well, look, it's been my first time seeing Illawarra in person this season, and I've been so impressed with how they've played and their roster. I think they've just got such good depth and balance across how they've been made up, guys who are willing to come in and do the hard things, and they're undoubtedly the team to beat come playoff time. I'm not sure who's going to upset them. There's a lot of parity in that top six, but I think Illawarra is head and shoulders above everyone else at the moment. Not sure who you guys think could have a chance of upsetting them, but it's going to be pretty tough for anyone to beat them in a series.
I'm with you, Tom. I think the championship is going to go through Wollongong. Now that they got the home court advantage, you're going to have to beat them. You're going to have to win at least one in the gong. But look, Melbourne United, Perth, Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, is all going to be a tough. Sydney Kings. Look, it's going to be an interesting finals, but the Hawks are going to sit it out for the first, say, round or two.
Which could be damaging.
Sometimes that can kill a team's momentum, but you'd rather have that problem and get everybody rested, get Darius Days back into the lineup, Trey Kell get over his niggles.
It's always interesting to see how teams deal with that long break. Of course, you've got the playing games and you've got the fever break, and then the teams that finish first and second will start to take part. It's a lot of time without basketball at best. Just gets in there for a nice little put in. Timeout, Illawarra Hawks. Now, I'll tell you what, Damon Lowry, it's, you know, I'm a traveling guy.
Yeah.
I like to get around and travel. One place that I've been really just dying to visit, where mainly it's because of the people. India.
Really?
India. I'll tell you what.
Any particular city?
Maybe New Delhi.
Oh, yeah?
It might be a spot. But there's just plenty of places over there which I just think just aren't traveled to enough, that really deserve a lot more tourist benefit.
I've never been there.
Yeah.
Are we going to see your mini-me hit the court?
Alex McNaught, I hope so.
Oh, he's not in uniform.
So. No, he's not. Well,
he's dressed up like a civilian.
He certainly doesn't see a huge amount of time, but he does his best work in the beginning.
He should go in there and get Matt Mooney's jersey. He ain't using it.
Welcome back to Spark Arena. It's the Breakers just looking around their season out at the hands at the top of the table, Illawarra Hawks. But tomorrow night, the Sunshine Stoush, the Cairns Taipans and the Brisbane Bullets, two teams with not a huge amount to play for, but pride's always on the line.
Brisbane can go 13-16. And just on the percentage, if it's a blowout win.
Certainly looks a bit better on the season report if you only miss finals due to percentage. Nice pass from Tyler Harvey. A fantastic connection with Sam Froling that we've seen a couple of times tonight.
That's Tyler's 7th dime of the evening. He has filled in more than admirably for Trey Kell.
Lopez sizes up Froling. Looks for the step back, doesn't get it. Nice little pivot through the paint and a grown man finish.
He was committed to that bucket, wasn't he? He was not giving that one up.
Man, we are excited to see what he is going to be next year. If you had to put a top line of items you are most excited for next year, the development of Lopez, because when you give these guys at that age, Tyler Harvey, can he surpass 30? He can't, and the man in question, Lopez, will rip down the board. At that age, when you get these off-season, you get in the weight room, you get in the gym, as he gets in there, nice little touch, can't finish there, but Taco Fall, all 7-6 of him will finish. The development is so linear and so quick.
What would be the one thing that you would really focus on in the offseason with him?
Outside shot.
Yeah.
I think he can continue to develop that. His finishing is going to come with time and experience, but if he can turn that outside shot, which is probably the easiest thing to develop into something deadly, he is going to be a problem, and I reckon we're talking top 10 NBA draft.
He's shooting 34% from three, and that is that's respectable. That's respectable as Dane Pinot checks in.
As Dane Pinot checks into the ball game. I tell you what, if you've ever seen a locker room guy, that is him right there. He is the heart and soul off the court of this New Zealand Breakers team. And of course, he'll be having his wedding in April to his beautiful partner, Lou. His dad, a previous player in the NBL, Brad Pinot, of course, a superstar in his time, but good to see Dane Pinot getting some good minutes at the end of this game.
Don't forget about Georgia Pinot, another professional.
Georgia Pinot, another WNBL. The Pinot basketball name runs deep. And of course, Brad Pinot spent a lot of time coaching the Melbourne Tigers juniors and selflessly giving up his time as well. So there is a rich basketball history in that family. Bairstow. Nice sort of work into the paint. Finds Dane. Can he get on the board? No, he can't that time.
All right, with 3 minutes to go in this game, Tyler, Sam, and Wani out there on the floor. You know what? They're not going to play again for a month. What the hell? Finish it out.
Well, that's the thing. These guys are going to be having a fair extended break, and it's going to be inter-squad scrimmages, maybe get another NBL 1 team out there to be able to scrimmage against. There's a lot for coaches to think about. And Justin Tatum, of course, it'll be a unique environment for him. I'm not sure he's probably experienced that much rest for a team. And Tyler Harvey, 29 points on the night. You mentioned the 7 dimes. Moved that to 8 now as well, doing an absolutely fantastic job. And a coach's challenge here for the out-of-bounds call.
What?
Yeah, well, sometimes you just got to use them. Sometimes you don't want to leave stuff in the bank.
Come on, man. 20-point lead with 2:53 to go.
I don't mind it. It keeps our officiating crew, the fantastic people that run this replay center, it keeps them sharp.
I got places to be.
I'm sure you do. You know what?
Have you ever heard? I got some trivia for you.
Oh, no. I failed the last one miserably.
His coach's challenge.
Coach's challenge will be successful.
Okay, well done.
Semantics. All thanks to Amy, of course, allowing us to do this.
New Zealand trivia. You ready?
I'm ready.
Have you ever heard of George Eden?
I believe he was referred to as the Earl of Auckland. Am I correct?
You are correct. What are you?
Oh, I'll tell you what.
Tom would be shocked that we know that.
Hey, well, I'll tell you what. There is one thing that I know, and that's history. I may know very little about all sorts of things. But I do know a little bit about human history. A little under 3 minutes remain in the Breakers season. They started 7-2. Made a couple of acquisitions, removed a player, and it was downhill from there, unfortunately. But Dane Pinot gets on the scoreboard.
The last thing Justin Tatum wants right now is like an 8-point win, because all of a sudden the Hawks take their foot off the gas while New Zealand keeps playing.
The Hawks will be back in action on Friday night against the Sydney Kings, which will be a big game. Talk about going into the final just in some momentum, knocking off your arch rival, the Sydney Kings. And for the Kings, if they can knock off the top of the table, they've been one of the most up and down teams. We really don't know where they're going to go when it gets to the finals, but a team that certainly won't surprise if they can push all their way through. But
if you don't have a ticket for that game Friday night, I don't know what to tell you. You left your run way too late. You ain't going to be able to swing a cat in the Wollongong Entertainment Center.
What happens if you don't live there?
I don't know what to tell you.
Nice inbound pass there to Greeter.
Inexcusable if you're the Breakers. You got to protect the basket side.
20-point lead for the Breakers. No Matthew Mooney has been the big story for them in the second half. What an end to his tenure at the New Zealand Breakers. He signaled that he does want to return. I'm sure of the numbers right, but is that going to be possible with a blow-up?
The attitude.
Between him and Peteri Coppinen as Lopez just shakes and banks. Gets it out to Bairstow under complete pressure. Can't bank it in. But Dane Pinot comes up with the offensive board.
We got Kwani out there on the floor. Lucas Yates is about to check in. If Luka Yates was not playing for the Hawks as Max Darling hits a bucket, if Luka Yates was a regular citizen of New Zealand, he'd be sitting courtside because his name is Luka.
He would. He certainly would. Max Darling knocks it from outside. As we look at the Amy replay of that one, Max Darling, I think he's been one of the silver linings for this New Zealand team. He came in, he's been a real role player, but he's the sort of guy that if, you know, they can build up a roster, I can see him playing that sort of role on a winning team.
100%. Now, like what Max Darling brought to the table this season, very athletic defender, good size. Oh, Luka, you got to be ready. Got to be ready, Luka. You got 95 seconds to get on the scoreboard.
Still trying to work out who Luka Brasi is, and you've subbed in Luka Yates. Hopefully they don't reach the same fate. Minute 30 remains. The Hawks, or for all intents and purposes, barring a loss on Friday and a 150-point win from Melbourne United. They'll be playing as the top seed in the finals, which will mean a long spell until they play basketball next. A foul on Bairstow.
Have you ever heard of any teams? What's the biggest blowout percentage boosting game that you know of?
Oak Hill Christian in the NCAA lost to North Dakota State by around 90 points, I believe. It was the biggest in the history of the NCAA. So, barring Melbourne United playing Oak Hill Christian, I think the Hawks are going to be pretty safe up the top. If we look at the live ladder right now, the Hawks just spacing themselves out. They've been the benchmark the entire season. They have barely changed their starting five. They've got scoring up and down the roster. As you said, Darling works his way into the paint with a nice finish. It is fair enough to say, and you would imagine there is no arguments, the road to the championship goes through the guard.
Right through Fig Tree.
Yates guarded by Pinot. Forced into a tough hook, can't get it to fall. Carlin Davidson with a rebound. Free from outside, and I'll tell you what, this is a man who's just taken advantage of a bit of last-minute action.
Even Dane's having a little bit of a chuckle. The stroke didn't look bad, neither.
Let's go. For the first time in the Illawarra Hawks' rich history, they will win the minor premiership. Even Darwin Lowry couldn't accomplish such a feat, as Hickey will test out the skills of the cameraman, getting a quick steal at half court. Greeter with the real teammate move, getting it to Yates, who can't finish it to get his name in the scorebooks. Davidson, a bit of circus ball to finish this one out. 17 seconds remain.
All right, let's stop calling it a minor premiership, because you don't get anything for it. So it's just the Hawks have finished on top of the table.
I'll tell you what, Damon, you look at the smile on the face.
They're happy.
Tatum right now. I think it means something to him.
This definitely means, all it means is home court advantage throughout. That's all it means.
Which, for those that have been to the Wynn Entertainment Centre, it is a hostile, rowdy venue. Hostile. With fans that are hungry for another championship.
Another chip.
2-second differential shot and game clock. Greeter with the steal. Will he go upstairs? Yes, he does. Icing on the cake for the Illawarra Hawks. A dominant performance. Bairstow, he's been solid all night. Finds Darling, who's found his stroke late, and he hits one there.
There's some trivia for you. Who scored the last points in the 2025 NBL season for the Breakers?
You know what? If that one comes up on a trivia night, then
we'll be ready.
Pretty damn well shocked, but the answer to that one's going to be Max Darling. A big win for the Illawarra Hawks, who, as we've said, wrap up the minor premiership 96-82. A big effort for a team that's dropped games to teams down the bottom of the ladder. Tatum wanted an answer, and he got it from his team tonight.
You play 29 games in a season. You jockey for position. You have highs and lows. You lose games you should win, and you win games you probably should have lost. You got to go through injuries. You got to go through a myriad of things throughout a whole course of a season. And at the end of the day, here in early February, the Illawarra Hawks sit atop, perched atop the standings. This Justin Tatum only just got to Australia. Hadn't even been here 2 full years. And what a wonderful job he's done. We're looking at the Coach of the Year for Mines. There should be no debate about this. Led from start to finish as he daps up everybody on the Hawks roster.
There certainly won't be any debate. Justin Tatum on Monday night, 7:30 p.m. in the awards night, will be crowned the Coach of the Year, barring one of the biggest misjustices of all time. But we talk about the way that he's coached throughout the year, and admittedly, it's just the minor premiership. We're talking almost like they've won the championship here.
That's why I'm saying, calm down.
We just got to relax.
Keep a lid on this thing.
But they've been able to play, 1 through 10 for a majority of the year. They've got contributors all down their roster. They barely changed their starting lineup tonight with the absence of Trey Calvert, the first time in 16 games in a league where lineups chop and change. Everybody's had their ups and downs. The Illawarra Hawks have remained the constant and well-deserving of, I know you hate to hear it, but the minor premiership.
They love each other. They love playing with each other. They have a collective spirit that is just easy to see. They brought back 90% of the team. They kept everything intact. Darius Days did a wonderful job filling in as the third import. It's just good times in the gong.
It's good times in the Gong. Let's head back to Spark Arena, though, to Tom Abercrombie.
Yeah, it is good time in the gong, fellas, and Tyler Harvey, another Foot Locker player of the game, and wrapping up that #1 seed. It's got to feel good.
Yeah, it feels really good, man. We talked pregame about what we had to do. I thought we set the tone pretty well. They had some fight in them, but we executed well down late in the game and came out on top, man.
How long do you give yourselves to celebrate this little milestone? You've got to celebrate the small victories along the way, but you've got another game to wrap up before the regular season finishes.
Yeah, man, I think it's important. You know, what I learned throughout this whole journey is, like, there's going to be times where you're not winning, and it sucks. And then the times you do win, you got to appreciate it, man, because it's tough to win. So we'll celebrate tonight, but we got to get back to business tomorrow.
Has there been any chat yet about how you approach the break between the end of the regular season and the semi-finals, because you do get that extended break?
You know what? That is the coach's job. I'll just listen to what they say, man.
Oh, good luck for the playoffs, man. Wish you all the best. All right, guys, now bring in Sam Froling here. Sam, congratulations. You wrap up the top seed. Tell me what that means. As a guy who's been with Illawarra for a while now, what does that mean to the city?
Oh, it's massive. I mean, it's never been done in the history of the club. So for us coming in, we knew what this game was going to be tonight. It's their last game. We're down a few guys. They were going to give us their best shot. But the way we came out and played that game, I'm super proud of the boys. And finishing on top, yeah, it's pretty special.
And tell me about your coach, Justin Tatum. He's done a fantastic job this year. Odds-on favourite for Coach of the Year. Why do you guys love playing for him?
I mean, I've said this a million times. It's just everything he tells us to do, he's willing to do tenfold. And he's out there, you know, he's been sick as a dog at some games. He's sweating on the sideline, but he turns up every day. And what he asks of us, he's given back to us multitudes. So it's if you're not doing it, I don't know, you're probably not lasting in this program very long.
And that probably answers my next question, how you approach this last game. Obviously, with the top seed wrapped up, it's business as usual for that last one?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's Sydney, and we love playing Sydney at home. The crowd's going to be unreal, I'm sure, and we want to finish on a good note going into this break and get prepped for finals.
Well, all the best for the finals, man.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Cheers, Sam.
The Illawarra Hawks, they've got their eyes looking forward to the finals for the Breakers. Well, a couple of signatures that they've got to sign in the off-season, but we know such a storied franchise will be back and bigger than ever next year. The future is bright for the New Zealand Breakers. Tyler Harvey, the player of the game, 29 points, 8 assists, potentially locking in all NBL first team.